Everybody, uh, today we're going to talk about why being an adult sucks a lot. Unnecessary disclaimer here, my life is actually pretty great. I think it's important to acknowledge one's privileges, as they say. Never starved, have two lovely parents, loving family. Never really experienced any crazy deaths. Never starved. Had a six-figure salary since graduating. Nothing materially bad. So if you don't want to hear first world problems or a person possibly complaining about things that, in the grand scheme of things, aren't that great, feel free to skip this video. This is just me after being an adult for 3-ish full years now, talking about things that you don't realize are going to be issues by the time you're an adult when you're a kid or while in college, and things that you slowly but surely realize, and then it starts hitting you like a truck in your middle 20s. For reference, I'm 24. I've been in the workforce for about 3 years now, and yeah, here we go. Let's just talk about things. And unlike my other videos where I just stream of consciousness, there was just so many things I wanted to talk about that I wrote it down in this little handy composition book. I want to talk about money first. Money is the biggest wall truck thing that hits you when you're an adult. Everything costs money. Recently was tax season. It costs money to do taxes. It costs money to pay taxes, especially if you hire someone as a CPA and if you have complicated tax season stuff. It costs money to pay money when you're an adult. Everything costs money. Things that you took for granted when you were home. Toilet paper costs money. Soap costs money. Toothpaste costs money. Pay money to do laundry. Food costs money. Everything just costs money. Gas is through the charts. When I was young, I used to joke about with my friends whether or not our GPAs were over or under gas prices. Right now, gas prices are unattainable GPAs. It used to be good enough for UC's GPA. Then it was like unweighted GPAs, weighted GPAs, where you could hit the 4.5 if it got to $4.50. Now it's at $6 in Southern California. You can't even pay. You can't even get those GPAs. It's impossible. Cars cost money. Thankfully, if you live in New York City, you probably don't need a car. But if you have a car, there's insurance, paying for gas, as I mentioned before, maintenance costs. You got to change your oil. Everything just continues to rip you apart with money. Going out costs money. Enjoying life costs money. Money is just the biggest boom as you get older. And again, this is coming from someone who's made decent living since college. I can't even imagine what it's like making not much and trying to buy $6.50 Starbucks coffees every day. Perhaps you shouldn't buy those things if you are struggling a little bit, but not to get political for a second. Money is everything. As you get older, things start hitting very hard physically. Your back starts to hurt a lot. My back hurts every day. I can't sleep very well. You used to be able to sleep really quickly when you're young. You fall asleep immediately whether you want to, wake up or sleep and stay in bed as long as you want to. Nowadays, whenever I go to bed, doesn't matter if it's 12 a.m., 2 a.m., 10 p.m., my eyes automatically open at 6 a.m. People say, oh, that's probably a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. It just means you can't control/sleep in, and I have to pee every so often. Maybe it's coming a little bit faster for me, and perhaps I should stop being in front of the computer and sitting down for so long, but it starts hitting hard. I think right around the middle of 20s, your back hurts, your eyes hurt, your face hurts, you get sick more easily. Maybe I should go see a doctor, but it's harder to lose weight. It's harder to keep your weight. When you want to eat late at night in your early teens, late teens, early 20s, go do it, because that feeling of wanting to eat something is going to go away. I wish I cherished that more instead of thinking like, oh, if this is going to make me fat tomorrow, make me feel bad. Right now, I can't even eat past 10 p.m. because the next day it feels worse. So bad. The bathroom isn't happy with me. If you want to eat late night pizza, ramen at 3 a.m., do it while it doesn't hurt to do it. Yeah, body aches, hunger. The reason why I'm writing this down, memory starts to deteriorate. I used to remember everything about anything, about anyone is gone. Not as good anymore. I hope this doesn't lower my hiring possibilities or getting hired, which I guess goes to the next point. You have to constantly just think about the next step. There's no more laid out paths for you, unless you are a doctor or a lawyer, I guess, of a certain degree. Everything is uncertain. There's no second grade after third grade, after fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade with semesters or syllabuses. You are the controller of your destiny, which is not as great as you think it is. Uncertainty is not great. Optionality is also not that great in most cases. Everything is just up for grabs, and you don't know if you're doing something right or wrong. And it often feels like you have no idea what you're doing, and you want things to go work well, but I don't know if you can hear that. See, my laundry just got finished without me even thinking about it, and I have to go do it. Yeah, there's all these things you have to do, full of uncertainty, including laundry, and it just is not a good time ever because everything is just up for grabs, and you have no idea what you're doing at most times. And you see other people doing things, and you're like, maybe I should go do that. And then you realize, but I'm not that good at doing that, so maybe I should do this other thing. And then if you do this other thing, you feel like you missed out on the other thing. Just a long chain of missed opportunities, and perhaps the opportunity that you're a part of is not that great. Long way of saying, you just don't know what you're doing at any point. It's so confusing. And you always feel like what you're doing right now perhaps might not be the best thing for you, and you should have done the other thing that you had the opportunity to do so before. Status just keeps mattering, and yeah, you could prioritize and you can act like it doesn't matter, but especially if you live in a city and you're surrounded by people that are constantly successful and it feels like they're more successful than you, and I'm sure there's a long list of people that think I'm more successful than them, and they constantly wonder, why can't I be like Brian? Well, I'm looking right back at you and probably thinking, why can't I be like you? And I think it's a lot easier almost when you're younger because the comparison is more tangible. Someone has a higher GPA than you, someone gets into a better college than you. It's not that hard to subjectively compare because you're not really subjectively comparing. Kid's taller than you, a kid has more girls than you. It's a lot easier to compare then. Now it's very uncertain. You're not entirely sure if you're doing worse than another person, but sometimes they do better than you, so it feels like you're not doing as good as them. A lot of confusions of this comparison thing, status thing, income thing. Income, I guess, is the one way to measure true success, but you could also think of income potential. Maybe that guy is making more than you now, but you might be able to make more than then. Just a lot of things all over the place. Socially, relationships are very, very hard. You can't find anyone. Everyone's either in clubs or bars doing things that they actually probably don't want to and pretending like they're enjoying it, even though they hate themselves the next day or even during it. But if they don't do it, they're going to feel FOMO and they're going to feel like they're wasting their 20s, even though they're wasting their 20s by being at the bar or club that they're at. So what's with that? Everyone is asking whether or not you're dating, if you're not dating. And then if you are dating, you're probably complaining about dating or hearing from other people how great being single is and vice versa, and wondering what if the other side. And even if you happen to meet someone, they have other priorities and people are all busy and they want to care about their own lives instead of committing to people, because committing is a lame thing to do apparently when you're in your late or early 20s and everything starts mattering. You can't just date someone because you want to or because you guys like each other. You have to think about consequences, whether or not you're going to be in the same place for a long time, what point they are in their career, how much dating experience, what their family's like. So many things that never really mattered start mattering. Again, I'm overthinking, and a lot of these things are first world problems, but being an adult sucks. And then a fair number of realities start hitting in. Like the reality check, I guess, I'm doing now is being an adult sucks. That starts hitting you really hard. No sure answers to anything. People are really hard to get along with, and most people suck. And the whole idea of open-mindedness, which I think is kind of dumb, really doesn't work, and you are more and more being narrowed into the belief that you are part of it. And it's very hard to be open to other people's ideas, so you start getting into conflict with people that you disagree with, and the people that you used to be friends with become even more cornered and niched away, and you seem to lose a lot of friends pretty quickly, which sometimes isn't a bad thing because it helps you prioritize with people that you actually do like. But long story short, you lose a lot of people because you start quickly realizing you have very little in common with them, and the only thing that you were using to be with them is because you were geographically close to them or you're in the same school. You lose a lot of people. So in conclusion, if you're in college, truly enjoy it. If you're in high school, truly enjoy it. If you're younger, you should probably stop watching my videos. But long story short, being an adult, not as exciting as you seem. We just pay taxes, pay high for gas, probably never going to afford housing. And yeah, but you get to have a cool career and update your LinkedIn every once in a while. So there's that. I definitely took on a negative Nancy persona for this video, but hopefully I come back next week with a more fun and less complainy content. My one sentence summary of the day is the only guarantee you have in life is that you will die. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's go.